Hi belly dance lovers, how are you? I'm Laura and today I want to talk of a very important topic about belly dance. What it means to perform belly dance in a theater. How to perform belly dance in a theater. Let's not lie each other, belly dance didn't born to be performed in a theater. In the origin it was not like this, it was performed inside this Ottoman's palace or in the street, in family situation, in the street maybe, in sometimes weddings, but really not in a theater. Until now in Arabic country it's not really the theater, is special place. But Western world like Europe and USA and also China after choose to bring belly dance in a theater to make it known to a more bigger audience, and actually this was also the success of belly dance to spread it better all over the world. But we have to take care some important details about how to dance in a theater to keep our performance at a high level of power, or we will lose. Even if you are an amazing dancer for a nightclub, for a cabaret, for a wedding party, can be that in the theater, on a stage, a real stage, we can really not give the correct power. So we have to take care. Let's understand how. First of all, the most important to understand for me is that the theater is a huge place and full of energy and full of expectation, also because the audience come on purpose and maybe pay a ticket to sit, to stay maybe 1 hour, 1 hour and a half to see a show, very concentrated with an expectation in their mind. So they are not eating or doing something else, and yes, there is a show somewhere, if I want I watch it, otherwise it doesn't matter. No, I'm there for this purpose, so I expect something really special that justifies just the idea that I came out from home and go to the theater to watch the show, and I even paid a ticket. So it's all about preparation. You have to perform something that your audience say, wow, it deserves the ticket, it deserves the idea that I stayed here sitting in a position even constricted to watch. So you have to give this to your audience. Theater, normally of course there are many situations, bigger, smaller, different type of audience, different programs, and you have to consider all this. Of course I will talk general now, as I perform since I was 20 and of course now I don't perform anymore, as I think you know, but I have a great experience of any type of theater all over the world, because I perform since UK, Europe, Italy, most of the theater, and also in Morocco theater, and in Asia. So I collect many informations. First of all, the point of the theater is that it's big, so you have to consider the size of the stage, the quality of the audience. You have to know very well, you have to prepare yourself, you have to know what you will face, so what kind of audience you will have, what kind of program there is that night. I don't know, maybe you perform just one dance in a more complete program of other dances, or a complete show, or maybe you produce the entire show. I don't know, let's talk general. And what type of stage there is, what type of light, what type of audio system. There are many things that you have to consider, and you have to be prepared before. So you have to be really prepared on what is going to happen. So about the improvisation, I don't suggest to improvise at all to give a real quality show. So let's start with the most important, the stage where you will perform. The stage normally in a theater is big because it's done for group, for a big scenography, big group of people inside in the stage. And if you dance in group, actually is better for you. But if you perform as a solo artist, this will be a problem, as you have to know in advance. I suggest you really to have the exactly size of the theater, so when you prepare your performance you really calculate this size. Sometimes some theaters are so much big, so much huge, you cannot really use the space all completely, And what I do in this case, I cut it a little bit, I consider a size a little bit shorter, but I do my best to create a choreography that will totally fill up this space. I need to use it all. It's not possible when you are watching a show in a theater that you see a dancer always in the same position, typically in the center, or worse, in the center front. Let's say in the proscenium, because this will be very boring after a few seconds of show. So what you normally don't do for a restaurant, I talked already what it means to dance in a restaurant, and if you didn't see this video, I suggest you to, in the end of this video, we will give you the link where you can watch it. So let's go to the theater. Please don't stay all your performance in the middle. Of course, the middle, the center is the safe place. You feel safe, you're comfortable, you don't mistake if you stay in the center, but after a few seconds this powerful position will become very weak and very boring for the audience. So forget about it. Maybe you start in the middle, you finish also in the middle, but what happens between the beginning and the end has to be a big movement all around the stage in all the directions to also satisfy all your audience. The audience often can be sitting under, can be sit front of you, can be sitting under and upstairs and all around you. So you have to consider all these details, because when you think your choreography, and then, as I told you, is not the case to improvise, it's better if you prepare a choreography already with this direction and this idea well clear in your mind. So you have to consider where is sitting your audience and make something that can be interesting and also watchable from all the sides of the audience, wherever they sit. Of course, bigger the theater, more difficult the situation, and I have to say. Out of this, not only the center, you have also to consider that different position, because the theater is done for this, different position in the stage will give a different power and a different energy of the audience, because the theater is built like a box and is built in a way that depends where you put yourself. You can become big, you can become small, you can become like far and magic, or very close and very real. So for example, if you are performing Ratcharki or Oriental, let's say, or classic, okay, you can stay in the middle, maybe not always, but most of the dance. If you perform Méjancé, of course, you will use all the stage in all the way. If you perform something more, for example, pharaonic, something more elegant or suggestive, or I don't know, more solemn, also better you stay maybe a little bit in the back, so the people will see you far and not really, not real, how to say. But if you perform ballady, much more better to go close to your audience so they can see you, even the sweat from the face, let's say. You become more confidential, more real in the eyes of the audience. So all these things, how you catch the diagonal, how you choose the position of every single part of the choreography, will make a big difference in your performance, and also will make it really interesting, because it's kind of continuous variation. So please consider the stage. After this, the stage is big, as I said, so your choreography, the one you always dance without problem in 2 square meters, is not more suitable for a theater. You have to think to do big steps, to move much. As we said, we need to fill up the stage totally. And this is really another problem, because the steps in Oriental dance, bigger the step, less power the movement. So you need to train this also, because it will cut your breath immediately if you are not used to. So to dance with big steps, to move much from one side to another side, from the front to the back, blah blah blah, and all the diagonals will really cut your breath if you are not used to it. So you need a lot of preparation and rehearsal, imagining really the stage, maybe the real size of the stage. And the steps, when you do it big, of course, most of the steps of belly dance will lose their power, their impact, their definition. So also this has to be considered, that will become more powerful and more like in a rush. So you have to take care. Maybe in some cases you even need to change some steps to make it work for a big stage. And out of this, you have really sometimes also to reconsider totally your choreography, maybe to put more turns, less situation static. You need to move, so to fit, because also consider one thing, that the theater is big, and the static movements, the isolation, let's say, will be really less visible. So if you base all your choreography only in this static isolated movement, or you do it really well, and maybe the theater is not so big, and maybe you have the correct light, so it can work. It can work, but if it's not like this, take care, because this small movement will not really be visible, and the big movement will be so much visible. So you have to really to do it well, because this is what the theater, the effects, the magic effects of the theater does. And also remember that the theater has the power to make your arms and your movement of arms and legs much more visible. So you cannot move your arm random without thinking. Everything has to be calculated in the shape and in the position especially. So you have to consider that maybe in the back you have just the backyard, and your audience is only in the front. So when you think of your choreography, think in some moment where you give the back to the audience, and it doesn't have to be too much. And most of your position has to be really visible from the front or from the diagonal, because the people in the diagonal can see, but of course not in the side. So also you have to consider all the positions very well to give the best of your dance. This was only about the stage, but of course there are much more details that I could say, but let's do a resume. This was just to say how much you have to take care any single details. Plus, remember, the theater is about the atmosphere you give. It's not just the choreography or the dance. It's also the dramatic tension you give to the audience and the atmosphere. And this is also done from the light, from the position, from how you move, some gestuality. So any details in theater counts. This, of course, doesn't work in a restaurant. In restaurants, we have other situations. Let's talk about, connected to this topic, there is the light. And the light for me is, let's say, 60 or maybe 70% of the success of your performance. The good of the theater is the lights, the light system. That can make you amazing, can put you down totally, can make you flat, can make you invisible, too much visible. So everything has to be considered with the light also. So I suggest you to check what kind of lights there are in this theater, and there is a technician of the lights, of course. You have to talk with him before to explain it, and maybe to do some rehearsal about which color, which type of lights you need. For example, the white strong spotlight is never useful, because it will make you flat, like no shape, no tridimensional. You need more warm light, maybe from the sides, sometimes from the back, to create some effects with your veils and with your skirt and with your wings of Isis. And all this has to be arranged before. You cannot really go like this. And some positions maybe need a spotlight for the special position, to give some effect, to concentrate better the images. Of course, not every situation, not every theater give you the chance to control all these details, but if you can, I suggest you very much, because the light is what will make your performance really spectacular, or so simple, so normal, not interesting. The light can do much. Then let's go to the music. Of course, the choice of the music must be very must be thought before the show, because you have to choose a music not too long and not even too short, because in theater, of course, people is concentrated, so it's more available to watch a little bit longer show, but this show has to be interesting or you will kill them, of course. First of all, forget about make the music start, as always happens, for example, in Middle East or in clubs, that normally the music starts and the dancer enter after 1 minute, after a little bit. There is a kind of introduction of the music, especially if there is live band, before the dancer enters. This cannot be done, absolutely no, in theater, as every single second where the stage is empty, you are killing really the show. So when the music starts, maximum few seconds and you have to enter, or you have to start already on the stage with the music, so you have to calculate also this timing, how to enter, where to position, start the music, and all these details that has to be arranged with the director of the show, of course. Calculate also to make a great entrance because normally you have to think, if you enter from one side, from the wings, the side wings normally, which side, how, where you will be positioned, and which kind of light you will receive in this moment. It's very important, the starting of your choreography. You see how many details? And I'm making a resume, I tell you. And about the music, the quality of the music has to be very, very high, because in theater anything is amplified. So if the music has a good quality, I'm talking about the track, and this is something that not many people think about it. They use just a random MP3 track music, very low quality, that if you listen them in phones, in small places, all the bad quality of the music is okay, it's not really audible. But if you amplify in a big audio system in theater, any single bad noise will be amplified so much and will be so annoying, it will destroy your performance. Because it happened to me many times to watch some show, maybe the show was good, the choreography and the dancer was very good, but the music was so annoying that I didn't enjoy, I hated it even. So take care even the quality of the music, because the amplifications can make it worse. Let's continue talking about the costume. And here I can open really a chapter, a book. In fact, I did already two videos talking only about the costumes, but especially for the theater, the costume choice has to be very accurate. You cannot dance with anything you want, or just a dress. You cannot wear a dress, you have to wear a professional costume. So what it means with professional costume, that it doesn't mean that it has to cost $1,000, $3,000. But sometimes it's like this, but it is not this the point. The point is that this costume has to be thought for the choreography and for the theater and for the lights and for the position that you will take. First of all, in theater, the material with the power of the lights are very strong. With the power of the lights, the material will change, will give an effect from far that is totally different than from close. So you have to consider it. For example, some materials are disasters because too much transparent, example, some chiffon, some also synthetic light material from far are very, very light, and what you see from close will be totally different. For example, this kind of skirt with the light, you will feel like naked, and you will see it after in the video and in the pictures, in the photos, so it will be horrible because you will not see even the skirt, you will see just your legs and maybe your underwear. You don't want to have this effect, so better to choose stronger material, not transparent. It works very well, the velvet, but remember the velvet, of course, is not light, so will be heavy. If you need to create some movement, maybe the silk, the heavy silk, or more materials one on top of another, or even it's okay the chiffon, but has to be strong and very good quality, and or some other synthetic material done especially for the theater that can be really light, very shining, and also not transparent, so can give really the shape of the costume. So you have to choose a really good material. This costume has to be strong. It has to resist. You don't want to have the problem that while you are dancing, maybe the bra break, or your belt fall down. These kind of things you can handle in a restaurant, but in a theater will be a problem to go out to fix your costume. No, please. Let's avoid. So try your costume before, do it really professional, and professional means strong, that doesn't lose pieces all around the stage while you are dancing. Has to be elegant, has to be full of details, but most important, has to be also shining. You don't need medals and stuff like really from the market, let's say, but you need something rich in the effect. Doesn't have to be expensive, but for example, much shining with lots of diamonds, let's say Swarovski, and because with the light it will make you shining, and this is what we need when we dance. Of course, you don't have to have pieces losing somewhere and these kind of things. Plus, in theater it works very well, different costumes on top of another. In this way you can maybe make some changes during your performance, and this will make the show more interesting, more theatral, more dramatic, more intriguing, more interesting, let's say. So maybe you have a big costume first, then you take it out, you have another costumes under. So all these things works very well in a theater, and you don't have the problem that you destroy the costumes because the place is dirty and these kind of things, because the theater, you're the only one in the stage, it's all clean, you can fix all before. So please take care your costume. Has to be safe, you have to feel comfortable, and also the costumes is part of the show, so think any movement you do has to fit with the costumes has to fit with the move. Also, about the costume, there is another thing that many dancers forget to think about. It is exactly the backdrop. The backdrop has a color. Normally, if there's no scenography, no nothing, is black. It's like a big material, black, vertical, so to make not visible what's in the back. And this can be a problem. So you have to know before what kind of backdrop, what color of backdrop you have. And in this case, if it's black, I suggest you not to wear black, because you will become not visible at all, unless you do a big job with the light. So you need to make a contrast between you and your backdrop. So if the backdrop is black, maybe you can wear any other colors, possibly kind of contrast color, red, white, yellow, it depends, or many colors, but so you are visible. If you are all black and the back is black and your hair is black, I will see only your face, maybe your hands, your feet, and a piece of belly, unless this is the effect that you want. You understand what I mean? In belly dance we need to show our shape, our hips, so we need a costume to make a contrast. Of course, if the back is white, the same problem, but you have to change color. Sometimes there is a scenography with many colors. I don't like much unless depends, because also this can make confusion with your costume. And the same now you can find many times in show there is a kind of big screen in the back, so maybe while you are dancing they are showing some videos, some animated and colored, and this can make a confusion, can be too much strong, and you will become a little bit less visible. So check well what's in your bag. And let's talk about the makeup, because also about the costume also, I forgot one thing, that the light has to accord with the costume, so also you have to try, and with your skin, this is very important. There are some type of lights that doesn't work with your skin, and you have to know which one. You have to do some rehearsal about it, and especially with the costumes, the light, if it's too strong, will make you flat and will shine maybe too much, so don't make you visible. If it's too low, of course, you will not be visible too, but sometimes it should be a combination between the strong and the weak, so this variability of the light will make the show more interesting and more dynamic and more dramatic in some moment, light in some others. You can consider also these variations. In show also, in a theater show, it's very interesting if you use all the accessories you want, all the props you want. For example, the chamadan, the big chandelier in your head, or wings of Isis, or veils, or sticks, double stick, triple sticks, whatever you want, candles, anything can be so much interesting and can fit so much Melaya inside a show in a theater. And this we cannot say it, of course, in a restaurant show will be really sometimes not comfortable at all. And let's talk about the makeup. Sometimes, most of the times, the dancers forget. It's not that they forget, they don't give the correct value. The makeup for a theater is totally different from the makeup of restaurants or even nightclub. The point is, in theater, the audience is far from you, so they don't see you, they don't see the details. So this made the normal makeup, the one that I can use normally in the day, or the one that I use even in a restaurant, is totally different from the one of the theater. The makeup of the theater is done on purpose, so it's a special type of makeup that has to be very much visible from far. And if you watch it from close, maybe it's horrible, it's not possible even to go out with this because it's very heavy and has to make your eyes very big from far. So sometimes I used to make the eyeliner very big out of my eyes and down, much more down. Same things for my mouth, same things for my cheeks, so everything has to be amplified because the effect has to be nice from far, also for the pictures and for the videos. And if you see the same makeup from close, you scare me, I scare. Normally it's a professional makeup. And also you need a special product like a strong base, fixing after, like primer and all these kind of things, because the makeup has to stay and has to resist the strong light of the theater. This light will make you sweat since the first step on the stage. So you need to have a makeup that really don't move. Even if, I repeat, it's horrible to watch it from close, but from far it works so much. Nothing has to be shiny. All the makeup has to be totally matte. All the makeup, from the eyeshadow to the base, your lipstick, everything has to be matte. But why? So you have to be shiny. Why you have to be matte? No, the makeup has to be matte because with the light, everything is shining, or glitter in the face will make you kind of strange spot and will make your face flat, like you will not see really the volume of your face. So you need a strong contouring, all matte, with big lines and big and this type of big designs. And after you have to play much mostly with two colors, that is black and white, and with these two colors you can make all the shadows and all what you need to make your makeup visible. Of course, a big strong lipstick, also matte, and this is also not to make your hair also stuck in your face while you're dancing. Let's continue with another aspect that sometimes dancers forget when they dance in theater. It's very important on how not only the choreography has to include some gestuality, I already talked about it, but I want to go more deep in this. Gestuality, it means that you have to also think some position of your hands, some movement, something that will be totally amplified from the theater as effect, so think it well. Take care even of the details. Anything has to be prepared, let's say the truth, and to make your show more effective as theatrical impact, I want to say. And one of these effects is also the way you look. Of course, your expression can be that will not be really much visible from far from the audience, but it will be very visible where you look at. For example, where you point your eyes. You don't have to watch, of course, the people of the audience, but you have to know very well if you want to watch there, up, down. All this can be calculated in your choreography and can create really an interesting impact. Sometimes I see dancers in theater, because this is the most easy. When you are dancing on stage, it's normal that you point your eyes down to the first line of your audience, because maybe this is the only faces that you can see for real. So you concentrate on them, it will make you feel more comfortable, but this is a mistake, because you are forgetting of all the other audience. You are limiting your expression. While you are dancing, finally you don't have to look at anybody, and finally you will not even see them because of the lights and the distance, but you have to give the idea that you are looking at all of them. So many times you need to watch very, very far and not just at the first audience. Maybe it can be a moment, some more like a friendly moment of the dance, so you can really have a communication with the most close to you, but most of the time has to be, all the audience has to be involved in this way. And the last thing, but is not less important, that maybe is the most important, and this also many dancers don't consider it. The final bow is so important, because it's, first of all, is something about to be polite with your audience. The audience came to watch you, they came to clap you, they paid a ticket, so you have to say thanks to them also for watching and to resist maybe the show. And so it's a way to say goodbye, thank you to come, I enjoyed, I hope you enjoyed too. Let's meet again another time. So it's a kind of greetings, and has to be prepared with a nice bow. Is not what you will do maybe in a normal restaurant or in a nightclub. Sometimes you don't even do this stuff, you just go out, it doesn't matter, because the people is doing something else anyways, is enjoying the night with their friends and with the restaurants. But in this case it's necessary, and it has to be prepared, so you go close to the audience in the proscenium. When normally you don't have to dance so close, also because you know the proscenium is the area of the theater where the lights doesn't arrive, so you will not be visible. So normally you don't dance really close to in the last part of the stage, you go a little bit back. But in the moment of the bow, because all the lights are normally open in this moment, you can go close, and you're really with a smile and with a nice gesture, but also some position of bow to give your final greetings. So better to rehearsal also this moment to close your performance in a perfect way. So I think I gave you most of the tips, most of the most important tips about dancing in a theater. Hope you will use it, you will consider it, you consider them, and maybe your next show will be amazing. Thank you for watching. You will see the first part of this video in the link. And any other question, maybe I forgot many things, you know, you can write me down, you can ask me, and I will be very, very happy to hear from you and to answer you. Bye.